The market does not care about your feelings, about your kids, about your family, about your debt, about your goals. You think because you work hard and you're a good person, you deserve to be successful. And that is the worst thing that you could do to yourself. And reality is, you could not be more wrong. That is not how money works. That is not how the market works. The market is completely ruthless. And that is the reality. It only pays you in direct proportion to the value that you give and you provide to others, and that you provide to the market itself, and the problems that you solve. So if you are trying to be a good person and your business has an awesome deed that it is doing, I'm not saying that in all situations you're going to fail no matter what, but the reality is that if what you're doing is focused on that, but it doesn't solve the issue that the market has, or a issue that the market has, the reality is that the market is slowly going to negate you and push you to the side. You're going to struggle. I've seen businesses that not necessarily fall apart or fail, but they struggle throughout the process because of the fact that they're focused on not necessarily the market, but on the mission. And while that is an amazing concept and that is an amazing thought, the mission is not the only thing that you can focus on. Now, the mission is extremely important when it comes to your business. What you want to do is extremely important when it comes to the business, but just as important as well, or maybe a little bit below, but it is extremely important and something you have to keep in mind and consider always, is the market. Again, I would argue that the market has to be the driving force of what you do no matter what. And you need to find a way to do that without letting go of the mission. And I say that specifically for those businesses that are focused on good deeds, because a lot of times these businesses need to focus on the mission that they have. But for those who are not necessarily involved in that, for those who are simply starting a business and that want to be able to be successful and want to be able to accomplish their goals, for those who want to see their business reach the next level, the best thing you can absolutely do is focus on the market. Focus on how you can solve that issue to the best of your ability, and don't just think that because of who you are and because of what you do and because of what you know, that you are automatically going to succeed. If you are not solving an issue in the market, if you're not productive to the market, it will absolutely push you out. It does not care. It is ruthless. Stop crying about how hard your life is. Nobody, unfortunately, really cares about that. Most people are not going to give a crap about how sad you are. Turn that pain into a product, into a service that is sellable. Turn your product into something that could be of value to the market. Understand that just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that it actually is going to produce you anything. Don't think that just because you're passionate about something that it's actually going to produce something that is going to be worthwhile for you. In the end of the day, it is by you showing up and producing something for the market that will bring value to your business, because you need to be of value first to the market before it gives anything in return to you. So stop crying about how hard it is. Stop crying about how unfair things are, and begin to understand that this is the reality of running a business. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to solve a problem in the market. And the bigger the solution is, and the better the solution is, the better that you will produce and the better that the market will treat you with your business. Again, understand the concept. Nobody is going to care when it comes to the market about the issues that you may have. This is the reality. A mechanic doesn't get paid because he's tired, because it's hard, because he hurt his hand by hammering something. That is irrelevant to a mechanic situation and irrelevant to them succeeding in the business. He gets paid because the car starts. He gets paid because the check engine light turns off. He gets paid because the car is running as good as new. So in the end of the day, your business is the same exact thing. If you're solving the issue, you are going to get paid. If you're not solving any issue, you are not going to get paid. And in fact, you might end up worse than just not getting paid. You might end up either sued or you might end up just losing a bunch of money that you invest into the business that you want to do. So understand the market has to be the driving force to what you do. And if you can't understand that, if you can't accept that, then the reality is that you are going to struggle throughout the process. Understand the market is the driving force. By the way, if you appreciate the unfiltered truth about how hard work, about how the world actually works, hit that subscribe button. We deal with reality here. We don't build up pipe dreams that look beautiful but will produce nothing. We talk about the truth here, and don't forget that if that is what you want, if you're willing to grind, then hit that subscribe button. It is so helpful for me, and I know it doesn't cost you much. So thank you so much for that, and let's get back to it. Let's talk a little bit about how to become undeniable, right? We've talked about how the market doesn't care. We've talked about how you need to put in the work and put in the work for something that is of actual value and is actually solving an issue. And that is how you will get paid. But let's talk a little bit about a tip here when it comes to entrepreneurship and the market. How to become undeniable. That is extremely important for you to become the type of business that no matter who sees you, they're like, wow, I need that. And I just need to have it. And when you produce that feeling into people, you are able to now become a seller or a business that no matter who it is, they want to have what you're selling. Stop asking for handouts and start building undeniable systems that businesses are forced to pay for. Start building an undeniable product that consumers will want to pay for no matter what. Understand that when you are able to produce something like this, when you're able to get to something like this with your product or with your system, when you are able to do this, you will grow that much faster. You will be a force that no one can stop. Because why? You are undeniable. That is the reality. When it comes to products like Apple, right? If I look around my room right now, I could literally tell you of 3 or 4 different Apple products that I have. So the reality is that when you make your product undeniable, like Apple has done, when you're able to do this, when you're able to make your product undeniable, like Amazon has done, when you're able to do this, you will take your business to another level. So produce the feeling in people that you are undeniable, that no one else has a system like you and no one else does it better than you. So if you're able to produce that, you're able to succeed no matter what. The world owes you nothing. Go take it. Go put in the work. Stop crying. Stop complaining and show up and understand how the market works, because it is what will run your business to the ground or what will run your business to past the roof. I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, to give the video a like, and to put your comments below. Don't forget that your path to freedom is here. It is now. It is in your hands. We'll see you on the next one. And thank you so much for watching.